Good afternoon. This afternoon at approximately 2:40 p.m, a violent extremist undertook a terrorist attack on innocent New Zealanders in the New Lynn countdown in Auckland. This afternoon I want to share what we know about this event, but also what we know about the terrorist. But first I want to acknowledge the 6 innocent people who have been attacked. 3, I understand, are seriously injured. This was a violent attack. It was senseless, and I am so sorry it happened. The attack began at 2:40 p.m. and was undertaken by an individual who was a known threat to New Zealand. The individual was under constant monitoring, and it was the police surveillance team and special tactics group who were part of that monitoring and surveillance that shot and killed him within, I'm told, the space of roughly 60 seconds of the attack starting. For the detail of the events today, I will pass to Commissioner Andrew Costa to provide detail of the Special Tactics Group operation. I'll then say more of what we know about the terrorist and the government's efforts to protect New Zealanders from him.
Thank you, Prime Minister. As the Prime Minister has said, this individual was under heavy surveillance as a consequence of concerns about his ideology. Today, he travelled from where he lived in Gleneden to the countdown in New Lynn, as he had done before. He was closely watched by surveillance teams and a tactical team to monitor his actions and behaviour. He entered the store as he had done before. He obtained a knife from within the store. Surveillance teams were as close as they possibly could be to monitor his activity. When the commotion started, 2 police tactical operators from the STG moved to his location and engaged him. When he approached them with the knife, he was shot and killed. I acknowledge that this situation raises questions about whether police could have done more, whether police could have intervened more quickly. I'm satisfied, based on the information available to me, that the staff involved did not only what we expect they would do in this situation, but did it with great courage. The reality is that when you are surveilling someone on a 24/7 basis, it is not possible to be immediately next to them at all times. The staff intervened as quickly as they could, and they prevented further injury in what was a terrifying situation. Thank you, Prime Minister.
Thank you, Commissioner Costa. I want to share some additional information. This information is not as complete as I would like, for reasons I'll expand on shortly. The terrorist is a Sri Lankan national who arrived in New Zealand in October of 2011. He became a person of national security interest from 2016. The detailed reasons he is known to the agencies is the subject of suppression orders made by the court. In my view, it is in the public interest to share as much as we can in this case. I'm seeking advice on what we can do to facilitate that sharing of information as soon as possible. What I can say is that we have utilised every legal and surveillance power available to us to try and keep people safe from this individual. Many agencies and people were involved, and all were motivated by the same thing: trying to keep people safe. I know there will be many questions about this case, and we need to confront and address each and every one of them. And there will, as a matter of course and good practice, be multiple inquiries, including the IPCA and, importantly, the coroner's inquiry. It is not my intention, though, to wait for these reports to release what we can, but they will provide additional insight into this attack. Before I open up for questions, what happened today was despicable. It was hateful. It was wrong. was carried out by an individual, not a faith, not a culture, not an ethnicity, but an individual person who was gripped by ideology that is not supported here by anyone or any community. He alone carries the responsibility for these acts. Let that be where the judgment falls. Jessica, then Toba.
Police Commissioner mentioned that the officers prevented more happening. Maybe this is better for the Police Commissioner. What was planned? Can you give us a scale of what the person was planning to do?
We've had absolutely nothing that would tell us the extent of his intentions, or indeed that he had particular intentions today to go and do this act. Based on our surveillance, what we could tell is that he was undertaking what appeared to be a normal shopping expedition. However, clearly we have been concerned about his ideology, and that's why he was under surveillance and with accompanying tactical teams to be able to intervene.
Sitting at home, they'll look at this and say, if he was being surveyed and so closely watched, why were 6 people able to be injured before he was shot? Can you explain that?
This individual is very surveillance conscious, and surveillance teams working with an offender over an extended period of weeks need to maintain sufficient distance for that surveillance to be effective. So they were as close as they possibly could be without compromising the surveillance operation.
So this is someone that has been closely monitored, and so as the Commissioner has said, there was nothing that we're aware of at this point in time to indicate that what he was going to do today was going to happen today. But obviously because he was being closely followed and watched, they were there